Hidden Fates. In my opinion, the #1 modern Pokemon TCG card to ever be released. It's getting older, and we may have just missed the investment opportunity for this hot set. Nate, what was your experience with Hidden Fates?
Yeah, so I was not collecting when Hidden Fates came out, so I really got to right. Seriously, terrible Pokemon fan, right? But yeah, so I didn't get that first experience, where there was a lot of product out there in the store and stuff like that. I came along when it was essentially the very, very last wave of stuff that got printed out, got sent out into stores. I believe it was in 2020. Is when I got my first Hidden Fates products, and it was like the Raichu, the Charizard, and the Gyarados GX boxes.
The Walmart exclusive boxes.
From Walmart. Yeah, those Walmart exclusive boxes. I did get a couple tins.
Yep.
I did get my hands on some ETBs as well, so I did get a nice variety of things to open, so that was nice. But I didn't get a whole lot of it, so I probably only opened up, I mean, I would say less than 100 packs of
really?
Hidden Fates.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels good though, right? I mean, it's
oh yeah.
To this day, even with Crown Zenith coming out and being a very, very fun set to open, and Celebrations also being a fun set to open, like there still is just nothing as good as opening Hidden Fates. It's hard to explain.
It was awesome.
It is so good. Now, when we started our channel, right when Unified Minds came out in TCG Funhouse, right? Before we brought you aboard, and obviously the next set right after that was Hidden Fates. So Hidden Fates was the very first like explosion of excitement that we had for our channel. And I remember it like it was yesterday. We went out, I think it was a Wednesday before the Friday release, and we weren't even like hunting for it, but we just went to Target for some other reason, and we found 2 entire cases of the Mewtwo and Mew pin collections, the 3-pack pin collections.
Yeah, I never got those.
And those were notorious for having the best hit rates of all of the Hidden Fates products. And it's true. They were absolutely freaking spicy. They were amazing. And it's one of my best memories from being a Pokemon content creator, or really in the Pokemon TCG period, was the adrenaline rush of finding just the entire case sitting there untouched 2 days before release. Crazy. It was hype.
That's insane.
Hype. And then we came home, filmed videos that night because we were so excited.
Oh, of course. You have to with Hidden Fates.
The only thing missing from that memory was pulling the shiny Charizard right away. We didn't. It took us a while. We did finally pull it, but it took us a very long time. But I do believe we pulled the Mewtwo. I think we pulled the Mewtwo in that very first video, and it was absolutely outrageous and insane. But and that might be why I think Hidden Fates is the greatest modern set to be released. Just my feels.
I mean, I'm right there. I mean, it's Kanto love. Across the board. They definitely snuck a few non-Kanto Pokemon in there, but
it was almost like they just chose fan favorites. So
much love. I think
if you really look at the whole set, it's like all fan favorites. It's got Lucario, Greninja, Eeveelutions, Charizard, right? The only thing really missing was Blastoise and Venusaur. Like that could have made it even better, but that's it.
And they missed Blastoise and Venusaur throughout the whole entire Sword and Shield era as well. So I mean, they got to have something coming up here because it's been too many generations without them.
Oh, they just made, as of recording this, they just made a couple announcements of spicy Blastoise Venusaur stuff coming. So stay tuned to hear the channel because we're going to do some videos on that stuff as well. But we're talking about Hidden Fates today, and the reason why we decided to make this video is I do a lot of research looking at Pokemon cards, and I noticed a huge spike in price in pretty much every single Hidden Fates card that's out. Every full art shiny, baby shinies, kind of, sort of, but mostly the full art shinies are up at least 10%, if not more. So we're going to go over a couple of different categories. We're going to go over the big hitters of the set, what kind of movement they've had, what we believe are undervalued cards for the set. We're going to look at those. And then we're going to absolutely pick out our 2 favorite buys of the entire Hidden Fates set right now that we think you guys should put some stock into, because they're going to just rise and go to the moon, because as Hidden Fates gets older, it's going to be harder and harder to find some stuff. But the first card we're going to talk about before we really get into our list is just the shiny Charizard GX, right? the Big Mac Daddy, who doesn't love a shiny Charizard, right? I mean, you'd love a shiny Charizard.
Oh, I would love one. I don't have one and would love one. Yes. So anybody out there wants to give me one.
There's actually two right here in our video. I got the one behind me and then the one down there. The card showing on the thing. So yes. But believe it or not, guys, Charizard is the only one that's actually not gone up in price. The Charizard is down 10% over the last 3 or 4 months, going from about $35 down. It was around $350. It's now closer to around like $300, $310. Big change right there, going downwards, considering everything is going up. It just makes me feel like the Charizard may have been overinflated in the first place. And that's why it just had the little trend of coming down. But I do think there's also a little shift of Charizard maybe not being as popular as it always has been.
I would think so as well. I kind of agree with that last thing you said there, not being as popular. I mean, we just got slammed with Charizard here in the Sword and Shield era. And, you know, I would say there's arguably some cooler looking Charizard cards now, you know, from the Sword and Shield era as well. Maybe not all of you guys think that, but, you know, I think that kind of helped take a little bit away from the GX. But I mean, the GX is still king, I will say.
I agree. It still is the card that I would want most in the set, but some of this stuff is catching up. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And the first card that we're going to talk about is obviously the Pokemon that might be coming for Charizard's crown at some point here in the future, and that is Umbreon. The most expensive Pokemon to get a card in the entire Sword and Shield era is also up about 20% for its shiny GX form in Hidden Fates. Very rarely do you see spikes like this on a card as fast as it happened, and this card is now effectively over $100, and it was all the way down to about $78, $79 3-4 months ago. And if you go back even farther in time, it even was a little bit down below that, but it did have a little peaks and valleys here. I think this Pokemon definitely picked up steam with its Evolving Skies release, and now that people just know the value that Umbreon could potentially hold, carried it over to the Hidden Fates GX here, which now effectively makes it the second most expensive card in the set, and one you're going to want to keep your eye on. If you have in your collection, take good care of it.
All right, so great first selection. You know I love talking about the Eeveelutions, and you know my first one's going to be an Eeveelution as well. Arguably the cutest of the Eeveelutions, Sylveon GX here, up 15% over the last 4 months here, landed right about $63 right now. If you're taking a look at the trend, it is on the uptrend now. We are kind of past the lowest low that it had, you know, over the last 6 months, as I've said before. And I think all these videos that we've done, I always have an Eeveelution on my list. You really can't ever go wrong with the Eeveelutions. And with all the other Eeveelution love that we've had here throughout the Sword and Shield era, I think when you take a look back at the Sun and Moon era and take a look at these Eeveelutions, they're definitely great pickups.
Eeveelutions are always a fantastic pickup. We're 2 for 2 on them right now, but it's time to move past the Eeveelutions for now to talk about the card I have the most nostalgic feeling when pulling, and that is the Mewtwo GX, because it was the first full art shiny that we pulled that got me all excited in my giblets. But this Mewtwo has had a big roller coaster time. If you go back a year ago, this card was over $55, and about year and a half, 2 years ago, it was a $75, $80 card. This was steadily the second or third most expensive card in the entire set, obviously behind Charizard and always in the running for Cynthia. And then for some reason, it took a nosedive down to right around the $40 marker. It actually fell below $40 about 3, 4, 5 months ago. And since then, people had really realized it was undervalued. It is back up to about $45, giving it that 10% increase from its floor price, where people are starting to realize these Hidden Fates cards, they're more limited than we realize. They're not going to be coming out with any more reprints of this stuff. What we have is what we have. So think about that when you're talking investing in Hidden Fates at these prices. It's not bad. Mewtwo, such a fan favorite, nostalgic, legendary. He's going to go up in price, going to be one of the most sought after cards in the future, for sure.
That Mewtwo card is definitely a fantastic card, but you know what really gets me going in the giblets is some more Eeveelutions. Yes, of course, we have the Espeon here, that bright green, beautiful Espeon card. Right now, it is up 12% over the last 4 months, sitting right at about $50. And taking a look here on TCG Player, there's only about 28 listed right now, which is not a very high number for this card at all. It is on the upturn as well. We are past the floor where this card was over the last 6 months. But it is not quite as expensive as it's been over the last year. So again, I think right now is a great time to be looking at the Eeveelutions, especially this Espeon.
So now that we talked about the big four that we believe might also be worth picking up, that's why we didn't really talk about the Cynthia, which is technically the third most expensive card in the set. I don't know if that has high of a ceiling as some of the other ones that we discussed. But now we're going to be getting into some undervalued cards. There's nothing better than undervalued, right, Nate?
Oh, yeah. I love me some undervalued cards. Anytime you can pick something up for a fantastic price, you got to do it with Pokemon because these things go up and down all over the place.
That's right. And we some broke peoples.
That's for real.
So I take your Eeveelutions and I raise you another Eeveelutions, Nathaniel. That's right, we're talking about the Glaceon GX, probably, you know, the most forgotten, least favorite Eeveelution of all time, is actually not forgotten in Hidden Fates because it is skyrocketed in price on its own. You can find this card for about $14 as late as October last year, all the way up to $23. That's right, you're looking at almost a $7 increase, or at this point, a 35% increase of this card. Simply, in my opinion, because it's an Eeveelution. Evolving Skies has really put a focus on the Eeveelutions, and they're just also super cute and all that stuff, even though Glaceon's the least of the bunch, you know? The least of the Eeveelutions is still better than 99% of like all the other Pokemon in the entire galaxy, planet, universe. So it's definitely worth picking this card up at the lowly price of only like $23, $24 right now, especially since all the other Eeveelutions have reached over that $35 marker at minimum. This one definitely has some room to grow.
All right. So for my next card, I'm not going to go with another Eeveelutions. I'm getting away from the Eeveelutions for this list here, but I'm actually going to go with probably my favorite card for a very particular reason, and that's actually the Shiny Greninja GX. Right now, it's up 10% over the last 6 months. It's right at about $29 to $30 right now. You look over at TCG Player, and you got about 34 listed in near mint quality. And the reason why this is my favorite of the shiny Pokemon in the set is because this is the very first Pokemon, shiny Pokemon that I pulled from the set, and just it became my favorite Pokemon from the set. And I think it was probably it was even my second or third pack that I had gotten it. So it was just awesome. Greninja is a fan favorite. He's been a fan favorite for ever since he's been around. So when you're looking at fan favorites, I don't think you can go wrong. This Greninja is a great pickup.
If you guys have watched videos on this channel before, you know that I'm a huge proponent of fan favorites. So I love Nate's choice of Greninja, but I'm going to raise him another fan favorite Pokemon in Lucario. That's right, there's a full art shiny Lucario GX inside Hidden Fates, and it's a little bit undervalued in my opinion. Currently coming in at about $24 in near mint condition on TCG Player. It did have a floor price of just under 20 bucks. So technically it's up about $4.50, almost $5, which gives it about a 15 to 20% increase over the last 4 or 5 months, which is huge. Lucario has been my actual favorite Pokemon in the past. He's kind of fallen down a little bit, maybe because Pokemon took a little bit of the spotlight off of him for a while there, when really for like X and Y and stuff, he was really out in front when I got back into everything. But this isn't about me. This is about me. This is about Lucario, okay? This is about Lucari, my boy. And at that price point, I definitely think fan favorites like Lucario are worth picking up. I would definitely keep my eye on this card for now and in the future.
All right, so for my next undervalued card, I am taking you guys to the Johto region, and we are looking at Shiny Ho-Oh GX. An amazing card. Shiny Ho-Oh is awesome. Just reminds me of back in the day, that very first episode that we saw where we see the Shiny Ho-Oh flying over that golden Ho-Oh. Looking awesome. I love this card because it is also a legendary as well, and legendaries typically tend to do well as time goes on. And with Ho-Oh, it's a little bit different than Lugia. Lugia always is in the spotlight, but we didn't get a Lugia card here in this set. So Ho-Oh is the legendary that we get from Johto here in Hidden Fates. Over the last 6 months, it's been up 15%. Right now, it's sitting at about $16. I think the reason behind that price, why it is a little bit undervalued at this time, there are 56 listed. It's probably not the most popular card of the set either. So I think that's helping the price kind of stay low. And that's when you want to swoop in and pick up some of those Ho-Oh cards. And I think this is one that will do well over time as well.
All right, so now that we just reviewed some cards that we believe are worth picking up at these current price points, there's a couple cards in this set that have absolutely already skyrocketed, knocked it out of the park, whatever you want to call it, that we think are worth picking up. And they're actually a little bit on the lower end in terms of price, because when you're dealing with percentages, you have a lot more room to grow when you're spending less money and it's less risk. And I don't know about you, but I like spending less money, right? The wives are okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
Wives? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're much more appreciative of less spending on Pokemon. I can say that.
That's right. That's right. So if that's you, watch this part. Now, this first card that I'm going to talk about has dawned previous undervalued cards list here on the channel, and it has come to fruition. One of my biggest wins that I told you guys about 2 years ago, 1 year ago, is the Jesse James full art card here from Hidden Fates. It finally hit its marker. It is over that $10 price point. You can get it right now for about $11 over on TCG Player. Just 3 months ago, it was about $7. And if you go back a year, it was like $5. So technically, this card has doubled in value since the last time I told you to pick it up. Pats on back. Pats on back, right? Does someone else do that? No, I think they're leaving the community. Whatever. Pats on back, guys. It was a good call. And if you guys listened to me and went out and bought some Jesse James, you now have twice the value of a card. And I'm here to say, even at $10, it might still be undervalued, because you're talking about the most notorious villains in the entirety of the Pokemon TCG. Everything, the anime, the games, Pokemon, doesn't matter. It's Jesse and freaking James. It's Team Rocket. I'm still looking at this card, even after it doubled in price.
So for the very first card on my must-buy list here, you guys, I think, are going to be surprised. I know my mind was pretty blown by the prices I saw on this card. It's the Shiny Charmander. This card right now is down, you guys, way, way down. Over the last 12 months, it's down about 40%. And over the last 2 years, it's down even further than that. This card once sold for upwards of $45 to $50. On TCG Player right now, you guys, you can get it for about $11. That is insane. That is insane of a price drop for this Pokemon Charmander, a fan favorite, Kanto starter, one of the very first starters that we got. And this is the only shiny Charmander that we've ever gotten in the TCG. So my mind is blown. I am at loss for words at how crazy low this price is. So that's why it's on my must-buy list.
Great decision. I've talked about that shiny Charmander several times in different videos over the years. Absolutely love it. The only shiny Charmander we ever got. Good call. Now, I'm going to talk about a card that a lot of people think is synonymous with Hidden Fates. Probably the second most popular, most desirable card of the entire set. And that's right, I'm talking about the Black Star promo Stained Glass Birds, Moltres and Zapdos and Articuno GX that came inside the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box. This card is still hovering around that $10 marker, where it's been for actually quite some time. But I know that this card has a spike coming in the future. The farther we get away from Hidden Fates, the higher this card is going to go. I really think that Hidden Fates is finally done forever, and we had thought that before, and then it gave us another print run of ETBs, but I think this is it. I think we're done. However many Tri-Birds that are out there, and it is such an amazing card, one of the best artworks ever in the history of the Pokemon TCG, and you can still get it right now for $10 in near mint condition, and if you can pick some up that are even still in that cellophane, even better. But the cards are beautiful, phenomenal. They're going to go up in price. There's going to be a spike. Once people realize that there's no more ETBs to be had, it's going to go up.
So great minds think alike. I'm also going with the Tri-Birds, but I'm going with the Rainbow Tri-Birds, the one that you could pull in the set, and actually the only rainbow in the set as well. You can't go wrong with the Tri-Birds, the legendary birds. As you said, I can pretty much, ditto everything you said there. This card right now, there's only about 49 listed over on TCG Player. So not a lot listed right now, you guys. And it's going for only about $12 to $15 right now. It's really been kind of hovering around that, kind of just going up and down from about $12 to $15 for really about a year now. So I think it's a good one to pick up. And the main reason why I think this is a good one to pick up is, one, it was the only rainbow in the set, as I mentioned, but we are no longer going to have rainbows anymore. And this was the only rainbow Tribirds. I think this was the only rainbow to ever have 3 Pokemon on it as well. Correct me if I'm wrong there down in the comments, but it's a pretty unique card, and it only being the only one in the set makes it even more unique. I think it's a great pickup.
All right, that is it for our Hidden Fates price reviews. Let us know down in the comment section, what do you think about Hidden Fates? Do you think there's still some time to buy? Do you think the ship is sailed, the prices are too high? How is the ceiling looking for Hidden Fates? Let us know down there. We love chatting with you guys. And if you love Pokemon TCG conversations and talks and videos like this, please hit that subscribe button here on the channel and hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video in particular. Notification bell means you won't miss any in the future as well. Plus, we are live doing box breaks every single Friday. Nate just started doing TCG Live, Pokemon TCG Live. What do you call it? The PCTGLQXYZ?
PTCGL.
Oh, okay. The PCGL. That's right. On the weekends as well. It was a heck of a fun stream. He just did one on Sunday. It was awesome. He's looking for more people to destroy in the games, because now I threw you out there. Now you have to win all the matches.
Oh, man, you're putting the pressure on me. Putting the pressure on. It was tough. I had some good challengers the other night. It was really fun.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were having a heck of a time for sure, and people definitely enjoyed it. But thank you guys so much. Remember, if you want to level up, you got to be kind and be yourself.